So today I'm going to talk about why I believe that Maisha Hines-Allen could be one of the pickups of free agency, not just for the Fever, for everybody. And I will talk about this as why I believe Maisha Hines-Allen is such a good pickup. And there is a asterisk, and I have to start off this video by saying she was not good last year. But everything has to be put into perspective. She was terrible as a maximum contract player. She was on a bad team. She was given way more ball handling reps than she ever will be allowed at Indiana. She was taking the ball up the floor and doing mad stuff. But when you watch her in Minnesota, yes, I understand she was bad in the finals. She was fantastic from the second she went to Minnesota up to the finals. She was great. She was great till the finals. She was garbage in the finals. And okay, if bringing in Maisha Hines-Allen on a minimum contract gets us a player who's great until the Fever makes the finals and then stinks up the finals, I'll take that. I'll take a player who can help the Fever get to the finals, but will stink up the finals. Cool. If she does that again, genuinely cool. But the Indiana Fever as a free agency destination, they are a bigger and not bigger free agency destination than people think. So, a lot of people are not going to go to the Fever to ring chase. That's just not it. The Fever are not at that level. That being said, people will go to the Indiana Fever with the hope of winning a ring. The Indiana Fever as a competitive team is a better destination than if somebody wants to compete, Indiana Fever's on the same level as going to Atlanta. It is. It's on that same level if you're just purely looking to compete. That being said, there is a certain type of free agent that very, very, very much going to Indiana is a huge thing for them. And it is the Maisha Hines-Allens. It is the reputational revival. Basically, these are players that have taken reputational hits and will take less money to come to Indiana to revive their reputation. And I understand Howard still got the max, but that's the reason why Howard went to Indiana. Howard went to Indiana because she felt like she didn't get the recognition she's deserved in her career. And when it came to Natasha Howard in Indiana, the fit was not right, but Natasha Howard still won a Commissioner's Cup MVP. I don't think any Indiana Fever fans, I didn't want her back. I'll be very clear about this. I didn't want her back. That being said, I don't think Fever fans would be upset about bringing in Natasha Howard last year. She was definitely an upgrade over Alyssa Smith. But Maisha Hines-Allen, somebody that had such a poor year last year that she could be very close to being out of the league. However, all she has to do is go in and play her role. And she's not somebody, she was paid a max contract in Dallas. She's not someone who's ever been a star. She's came off the bench 50% of her career. Outside of the Wubble, where she made the all WNBA first team, or the second team. I think she won 2 Player of the Week or something. Where she made an all W team in the Wubble. She's been a part-time starter, solid player, solid pickup. Does a lot of good, does a bit of bad. And when you're talking about Maisha Hines-Allen, she's somebody that, for the Indiana Fever, is going to be fighting it out for the starting power forward spot. She's probably going to come in initially as the backup center. She is going to come in as the backup center. Her and she's going to be basically splitting minutes with Demiris Dantas probably as the backup center, and she'll be the backup power forward. So my expectation is she's going to play 18 minutes a game. And if she gives us 30% three-point shooting, because let's be real, she's going to get wide open threes. She's someone who's a 35% three-point shooter in her career, which is passable. Much better than the 25% for career that Natasha Howard shot. And she's here on a minimum. Like, you're even hearing Sophie Cunningham talking about how great it is to get Maisha Hines-Allen on the team. And that, like, she's glad that they're playing together because her and Maisha Hines-Allen have gotten into it on the court plenty of times. She is tough. She plays her ass off. She can run the floor. She's a really good passing big. Like, I don't think people realize this. Like, when she's basically told to create, she's not a good passer. She's not a good creator. But if she's told to be a connective passer, she can be a very good connective passer. And that's kind of what you need at the power forward position. Like, everyone talks being like, oh, she's like a downgrade Natasha Howard. Player-wise, sure. But she realistically is a better fit. She spreads the floor better than Howard. She passes better than Howard. She scans the floor better than Howard. Isn't the defender Natasha Howard is? I'll say that much. But she's a better fit, and she's on a minimum. And she is literally, she is there on a minimum. And I feel like these are the type of free agents that the Fever could get. And it's one of the reasons why I was like, yeah, the Fever should look at signing Beck Allen. And people were like, why? And I'm like, she was terrible to Sky. And I literally said, I'm like, look, the Sky is a bad situation. Like, let's just say hypothetically, the Portland Fire is a complete shit show. It's a complete shit show. And Emily Engstler is pretty much if Emily Engstler pretty much goes and stinks it up, I still want Emily Engstler next year because of the type of player that she is and how she will fit seamlessly in with this Fever team. If there are players on these certain teams that are stinking it up and they're good players in bad situations, they are who the Fever should target because the Fever can get them for cheap and the Fever will get them because there will be eyes on them. The players that want to redeem their careers, redeem their reputation, will want to come to Indiana. Because if you're ring chasing, there's better places in Indiana. For a lot of people, there's better cities to live in Indiana. There is nowhere where there's going to be more eyes on you than Indiana. If you are trying to build something off the floor, depending on who you are, it can help to be in Indiana. If you are trying to rebuild your reputation, Indiana is the place for that. The downside is if you stink it up, it's the worst place where you can be. But if you play well, and you don't even need to play well, just be a decent person. Because let's be completely real. The Indiana Fever fans have warmed up to some players who have been garbage. Like Erica Wheeler, good player, is going to do well hopefully does well for Sparks, but she was garbage again for the Fever. Especially in that second year. She was garbage. Fever fans, by the end of it, still loved her. Natasha Howard was not great. Fever fans, by the end of it, were still mostly on her side. Fever fans were always on Nalissa Smith's side. Not Dijonais, but Nalissa Smith's side. And I think she was very poor that final year. And all you have to do is play hard. I always say this where it's like, sports fans that have a lot, or sports teams have a lot of fans. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's a really tough one because, they love you when you're playing well, they hate you when you're playing badly. And that's true. That's true. But in general, as long as you give 100% effort, the Fever fans you're going to come out of it looking in a positive way. Like, it's not Angel and Paige type situations where obviously in isolated situations where people aren't passing the ball to Caitlin, especially in 2024, there was stuff with that. But now it's at stage where that blame goes to Christy, so is Stephanie White at this stage, if that happens. But no, it's not like there's going to be talk about people teammates sabotaging players at this stage. Like, no, this is a team trying to win a championship. And I think a Maisha Hines-Allen on a minimum is a big get, because if we look at backup fours in the league, backup fours, Naz Hillman's better. Cool. Janelle Salon, better. I think she might start. Who's a better backup four? There's not many. Awak Coulier is better. Cool. Jess Shepard might be a backup four. Jess Shepard, cool. Like, whichever one of those starts. There's not that many better back and forwards than MHA, and Fever have her on a minimum. Because that is the one thing the Fever can offer. The Fever cannot offer the best chance of winning a title. The Fever cannot offer the state income tax of Texas. The Fever cannot offer the weather of California. The Fever cannot offer the business opportunities of New York. The Fever can offer the easiest way to redeem your reputation, especially if you're coming from a bad situation and you believe that, no, I am that player, I've just been in a bad situation.